This video is sponsored by NordVPN, the world's leading virtual private network service. NordVPN adds an extra layer of protection to your daily browsing by hiding your online activity from hackers, websites, and advertisers. Follow the link in the description to get up to 76% off and 3 extra months free. At the beginning of World War II, British doctrine was, for advancing troops, to keep moving without firing, while the artillery was eliminating the enemy, leading the infantry into the objective. This tactic proved too old and optimistic, and a system of battle drills was soon adopted, providing prescribed procedures for different types of actions at each echelon. From 1941 onwards, the British and other Commonwealth forces paid a great deal of attention to small unit tactics and techniques. British tactics, as outlined in the Infantry Training Manual of 1944, show significant improvement in both theory and practice since the start of the war. Squad formations were to depend chiefly on the ground and type of enemy fire to be encountered. The main formations for a British squad were single file, loose file, irregular arrowhead, extended line, and blobs. The term blob, first used in 1917, now referred to ad hoc gatherings of between 2 to 4 men, hidden as best they were able, in a manner calculated to give concealment and control. Ordinary single file is fit only in certain circumstances, as for example when the squad is advancing along a hedgerow, but it's not good for producing fire. Loose file denoted a slightly more scattered line, suitable for rapid movement and control, like the American squad column opened formation. Arrowhead formations allow rapid deployment to either flank and are used to avoid detection from reconnaissance aircraft. Extended line is the ideal formation for the final assault, but has drawbacks in terms of control and is vulnerable if fired on from a flank. Attacks were to be launched not just to take ground, but also to kill all enemies holding that ground. Covering fire on the way in was seen as essential, and the transition between fire and physical assault was to be seamless to prevent the enemy from returning fire. As the manual puts it on page 53, remember that if the enemy is dug in, covering fire seldom kills him. It merely makes him keep his head down so he's unable to shoot back. As the prime fire producer, the Bren gun was critical to the advance to contact, and was best worked as far as possible around a flank so as to threaten the enemy rear. This had 3 advantages: ensuring the elimination of the enemy, preventing the enemy reinforcement, and the psychological impact of a threatened encirclement, which might induce withdrawal or surrender. Commonly, the British squad would split into 2 for the attack, the Bren group, consisting of the 2-man Bren team and the second-in-command, and the main body of riflemen with the squad leader. The larger group with the leader bore main responsibility for closing with the enemy and would advance at the double when under threat. In the event of coming under effective fire, the riflemen would go over to fully fledged fire and movement. Falling to the ground instantly, the men were ordered to crawl rapidly sideways or forward to a good firing position, then fire independently until the squad leader shouted the command to stop. Depending on the circumstances, the Bren group and riflemen would give each other covering fire to allow the Bren group to reach position where they could pour in fire, preferably at an angle of about 90 degrees. A more complex variation of this tactic was to allow full-strength squads to form 3 groups, thereby achieving the maximum tactical dispersion. In this scheme, 1 man in each group took his orders from the leader, reducing the burden of command. The way this was supposed to work was a remarkable statement of the group ethos of comradeship. Groups are formed from friends as far as possible, in order that friends keep together and fight together. 1 man in each group which is not commanded by an NCO acts as leader. He should be chosen because of his natural gifts of leadership, and because the rest of the group look to him as leader. This leader can be changed whenever considered necessary. For the textbook assault, every effort must be made to suppress the enemy position from a flank, right up to the moment the assault goes in. Ideally, the platoon's 2-inch mortar would also lay a smokescreen on the objective. The squad leader controls the rifle group from the center, and grenades are used in the last phase of the assault. If the enemy position is captured, the squad leader calls up the Bren group to join the rest of the squad. The squad continues the advance after checking on casualties and ammunition, but if it intends to remain on the captured ground, immediate attention must be paid to digging in and to camouflage.
Now I am become death, the destroyer of worlds.
Постріл!